everyone, from Lundstad, and this is gonna be a very different video than what I normally do. I'm gonna be telling you my coming out story, and we're gonna get fucking lit first because I haven't gotten lit today, and this is like this topic, like my hands are getting clammy, like I don't know why, but like this topic just, you know, gets me nervous, you know. But we're gonna smoke and then we'll get into the story. But what I have is it's Raw Garden Tangy Badlands number 7. It's sauce, and it's an indica hybrid. I kind of like hot dabs, my bad. Like, I don't know. They're not terrible. Also, I found out that I like flour way more than dabs. So, cheers. And then I'll just I took a little like baby one as always. I think my tolerance for these are getting higher though. But oh, it smells so good. That'll cut it all lit when that dab hits you. I came out June 17th, 2016 as bisexual and gender fluid. Do I still go by those two? We'll get to that in a minute. But so that's when I came out. Okay, this is gonna sound weird. I was already kind of out for like a couple months online, like not online, but like only certain people knew, and like some of my friends knew, you know, but my family didn't know. And that's the day that I came out to my family, and then like to everyone basically. But yeah, that's when I came out, and it was something that took me a really long time, like a very long time. We're gonna get sad boys club. I like, okay, my brother, so my brother, who's we have a good age gap difference between us, and he was already out before I came out, so I already knew like how my parents would react and like take it, and I knew it was gonna be fine. But when I was like younger and like before I knew he was gay, so yeah, so he's gay, by the way, yeah. it's like before I knew that, and when I was younger, and going to school and stuff, you kind of just heard people be like, well, like everyone, oh, like, oh, in middle school when all that, it was like this whole thing that all the girls were coming out as bi. And it's just like, bro, no, people were just figuring themselves out. Like, there is no problem with that. You know what I mean? And it was just, there was so much, even though part of me knew it was okay to be like gay, bi, anything but straight. Like, part of me, a little part of me knew that. But you also grow up hearing, like, I feel like the crazy thing is that so much has changed from like media when I was a kid to media now, and it hasn't been that fucking long, but so much has changed. And it's just hearing different things when, you know, you're younger, like, oh, it's not right, it's against the Bible. I realized that I haven't been making eye contact with the camera as much as I normally do, and it's because like this topic still weighs heavy on me, and like it's something that I'm still healing through, and like I always think I'm over it, but then I get back to it and I'm just like, you know, I'm happy with who I am and like the place I'm at right now, but going back into and looking at that in my past, it's obviously like, okay, yeah, got it, cool, okay. I went through a lot of feeling like I didn't care, like I wasn't judging anyone else that was like gay, bi, anything like that. Like I didn't care for them, but when it came for myself, that was something that I was like, this can't be right, like this has to be wrong, like I don't have those feelings, you know, like I'm normal. And whatever, it like, I'm not gonna cry yet. I'm not crying yet because we're not even like 5 minutes into the story. No, okay, listen, it's just that like you read so much about like how this is wrong, and like, oh, I also had like, okay, but like this was like more when we were older-ish, but I had this other friend who was like super religious, and she was just like, gay marriage is terrible and like that's against the Bible, and I'm just like gay people live, you know, like, but you just, so like I heard all these things, but I also knew like, I don't know, it's kind of like this thing of like hearing both sides, and like obviously part of you knows that like it's okay and like you're fine and you're normal or whatever, but another part of you is hearing all these other things, and it's just easier to cling on to this ain't gonna be like a little mental health thing, but it for me was easier to cling on to just another reason to not like myself. And like I'll get into a whole mental health episode, like video, if you guys want me to do that, but that's kind of, I think what happened was like it was easier for me to just push myself into the box of this isn't okay and giving myself another reason to dislike myself than it was for me to be like, no, this is perfectly fine, like obviously, you know, and like feeling validated and whatnot, because that would have been so much easier. And sometimes we put ourselves in other situations, whatever. So after I had come out, like, I'm not gonna say who said these things to me, but I'm gonna tell you some things that I heard, because like I feel like if you're gonna come out, you might as well hear some things you might hear. But, and it's not to be like, oh, be scared to come out and stuff like that. Obviously, one, make sure that like you're comfortable with yourself, like you feel okay, like, because at the end of the day, like, coming out shouldn't be a big deal, because straight shouldn't be the norm. You should be asking, not asking, but it shouldn't be like just the assumption that everyone is straight, you know? So, but it is. So coming out is something for you and yourself, and that's your thing. So make sure you're ready for it. And so some of the things that I heard were, are you sure? It could be just a phase. Sex doesn't even last that long, or is that good? Yeah. That last one really threw me, and I'm just like, that has nothing to do with it. I mean, it does, but like, because, okay, so now we're gonna get into this other part, which is, do I still identify as bisexual and gender fluid? I came out as bisexual even though I was pansexual, and I've, like, since I've known about pansexuality, I've kind of always been like, yeah, that's me. And I want to do like a whole thing on like bisexual and pansexual. So there's gonna be a whole like other video this week on it. Either I already posted it or it's coming up, so make sure you check that out. But I identified more with pansexual, but I had come out as bi because that's just what was easier to come out. I knew that like a lot of people at the time didn't know what pansexual was, and like there's a lot of like, I guess, skepticism and whatnot. So like people who aren't as open-minded, like I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I'm pansexual, and have to like dive into this whole thing and then get into like an argument or whatnot about like, yeah, you know what I mean? So I used to, and most, like sometimes still do, depending on who I'm talking to, come out as bisexual instead of pansexual. And it's just because it's a lot more known, and like people get weird, you know what I mean? Some people aren't open-minded, different stuff, you know? So there's certain people who I can be like, yeah, I'm pan, and they'll be like, oh, that's lit, you know? And then other people be like, and then it's this whole nother conversation I wasn't trying to have, you know what I mean? I'm pansexual. And gender fluid, I would still say queer. I would probably at that point just identify myself as queer, just because I don't know if I fit into gender fluid. Like I feel like I do, but like maybe not. And that's why I would just go with the umbrella term queer at this point. And if anyone wants to ask me about it, then I'd get like into it, like however kind of like the conversation they wanted. Like I would just say queer. But then wouldn't that also go for pansexual? I mean, you technically can identify as both, so who gives a fuck? But I think that's that. I am who I am. I like who I like, and that's it. That's life, you know? All here for a good time.